Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so grateful to have you here. I'm Kim Cohen. Welcome to my channel of love and happiness and positive energy, but also shedding some light of truth to the world of the Great Awakening. So a couple of people, I know that I have a lot of new followers, obviously. I am so grateful to have each and every single one of you guys. I read all the comments, each and every single one of them. I try to reply back to everybody. Sometimes it gets tough. Sometimes I go back later on and do it, but I really try to get back to everybody. And I appreciate every single person that gives my videos thumbs up. Every single person that writes a comment. It really means the world to me that you guys care as much as I do. So with all the new followers on my channel, I was asked to do this a couple of times, and so I thought I would just do this. I kind of wanted to introduce myself since a lot of people don't really know who I am, don't really know where I come from and what my story is. And I'm sure some of you guys found me in groups or randomly on Google, on YouTube search, or I don't know how you got here. Let me know how you got here. It's very interesting to me. But I know a lot of people don't really know a lot about me. So people have asked me to make kind of like an introduction video or a video explaining a little bit more about myself. So I will do that starting now. Starting at the basic, I am a travel blogger and a lifestyle blogger. That is what I do. That's what I've been doing for the last 6 years. I own my own business called Vanilla Sky Dreaming. As far as traveling goes, I specialize in solo traveling, adventure travel, and luxury travel, meaning I travel by myself. I do really crazy stuff. I sleep in an ice hotel, I swam with sharks, I swam with glaciers, I've climbed crazy mountains, I've seen the northern lights, I've gone on the longest and tallest zip lines. I've done a lot of really crazy out there stuff for sure. You can definitely check out videos from those adventures at the bottom. And I made so many of my dreams come true, and that's just kind of like how I am. I believe that anything and everything is possible. I believe strongly in making all of your dreams come true. I believe that you can be anything and everything that you want to be in one lifetime. You can do it all. I've done it all. I'm about to tell you about all of it, but I've done some really wild ass stuff, and you are never limited to anything. Your soul and capability is infinite. You're infinite. You can do anything and everything. You don't have to choose one path and just do it for the rest of your life. And I'm a perfect example of that. As far as lifestyle goes, is related to me because I've been, a vegetarian since I was 8, mostly vegan. I think that your body is a temple. I always cherish my body. I don't really take medicine until I'm like dying. I eat super clean. I drink only water. I don't have any plastic surgery. I don't have any tattoos. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any of those things, but I'm still crazy, so it's all good, right? But I kind of try to embrace people to live like a healthy and clean lifestyle. I'm a very big advocate to self-growth information. I've done a bunch of self-growth seminars, a lot of really life-changing stuff. I do self-growth things every single day to further my mind and my soul and my subconscious mind to always be a better version of myself. And I always want to share and spread the light with everybody because I think that's very important, and so many people overlook that very important aspect. That's kind of where my lifestyle bracket kind of fits into. I always want to empower people to live their best life ever because life is so precious. Life is a gift. Life is a blessing. And we don't know what we have till it's gone. And we don't know what we have until we're on a deathbed. So that's always my mission, man, to help people make their dreams come true, to inspire them and to empower them. That's also one of my soul's mission. It has been for a very long time. I am the epitome of making all of your wildest dreams come true. I am the epitome of nothing is impossible. I've beat the odds through the craziest circumstance repeatedly in my life where it doesn't make sense. You guys, I'm so excited to share. It's been in my heart for so long. I'm gonna be launching e-courses and coaching, one-on-one coaching with me, so that I can help you literally make all of your dreams come true. That's why I was set out here to do, is to help people make their dreams come true, teach them the tricks of how to create them and make them happen in a snap of a finger, kind of. I mean, you're gonna have to put in some work, some hard work, obviously, but I truly believe that anybody can do what I do. You can be an influencer at no matter what age you are, male or female. family or single, doesn't matter what country you're at, none of it matters. What matters is that you have a dream and a vision and something that you're passionate about, and you want to help the world become a better place and teach people and show people. So if that is something you're interested in, let me know below. And let's get started with this video, telling you guys about my life story. It's a really crazy story. It's kind of the story of pursuing and finding my purpose that I've been yearning and learning and waiting for God to send me answers my entire life. I've done so much. This is the shortest version of it that I can possibly create. But everything that I ever did was always followed behind the pursuit of happiness, freedom, wholesome, light, passion, and purpose here on earth. That's my entire life. I've been searching for my purpose and what I meant to do here and why I was sent here. And you're gonna hear my story, and it's gonna be kind of wild. But I know that even the good and the bad, they all happened for a reason. I would not be who I am today if it wasn't for any of those things. And I'm grateful for the good and the bad, all of it. So without further ado, I will introduce myself, my story, where I come from, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, well, I have a really long life-ass story. I'm sure we all have a long life story. I've kind of had like 9, 10, 15 lives in this lifetime. I've done insane amount of things in my 34 years of life. Everybody thinks that I'm younger than that. I'm 34 and a half. Birthday is in August. I am a Leo. Everybody keeps asking about that. So that's me. I'm a Leo, very much a Leo, like 100% Leo. My full name is Hofit Kim Cohen. Hofit is my Hebrew name and it means the beach. My mom gave all of us beach names. So my brother his name means tree. My other sister is coral reef on an island. Her middle name means waves. And my mom, and I have another sister that's also part of the coral reef. My mom built a little island, beach, trees, coral reefs, waves, all of that. Really cool, really original. Go mommy. I was born in Israel in a city called Arad, A-R-A-D. It's 15 minutes away from the Dead Sea. So literally in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere. It's a city that doesn't have traffic lights. It's all roundabouts. It's been like that since I was a kid. It's kind of a city that you stop through to get to the Dead Sea. But not a lot of people live there, and it's kind of died down, like the population of the people that live there, but it is my childhood. So I grew up in Israel. I left Israel when I was 8. When I was 8, actually prior to that. So I lived in Arad for a little bit, and then I moved to Herzliya, which is next to Tel Aviv, and then I lived in a place called Ramat Gan, which is also around Tel Aviv. Now, in Israel, everybody has to do the military, male or female. Both of my parents were in the military. There are people that do technical stuff, and then there's fighters. My dad was a fighter, so when there's wars, he was drafted back into the military. He did tanks and stuff like that. So all of a sudden, the Gulf War broke out, and my mom was 24 with 2 children at home. My dad was drafted back into the military. There was a chemical threat. When I was 5, I used to have to wear gas masks. It's really crazy. And we had a padded room, really nuts. Bombs kept falling the most in the city that I was raised in. And I mean, I can't even imagine being 24 with 2 children while my husband's at war. Meanwhile, I'm at war and there's bombs and a chemical threat. I give so much love and gratitude to my mom for being able to handle this. There was a bomb that fell a half a mile away from our house, and my mom got really scared, and my parents decided that they can't do this anymore. They can't raise their children like this anymore. So my dad got a job offer in America, in Los Angeles. I didn't see him for a year. He worked and started a business, and then he brought us. So most of my life, I grew up in LA, but I've also lived in different places all over the US. I had a lot of struggles growing up, my childhood, and just moving to a new country, not knowing the language. A few weeks after we had moved to LA, there was a big earthquake, 2.8. I was like, I don't like this place either. Take me back to my country. There's earthquakes here. There was aftershocks for months. My school broke. I had to stay a grade because I couldn't go to school. I went to school half of 3rd grade in Israel, and then I went to school for a month at the end of that year because my school broke. My childhood was rough. There was a lot of bad things, but there was also amazing, great things that happened to me. And also the time where the earthquake happened, I also lost my grandfather, who I was very, very, very close to. And it was very hard for me to process because I had just left Israel and then he died like a couple months later. Cancer, stage 4, out of nowhere. Like we found out, and 3 weeks later he was gone. God, I'm trying to think of how to like censor the story and make it also shorter at the same time. So I was picked on a lot as a kid for not knowing English, for having a weird name that nobody can pronounce. Everybody would call me Hofit. That's when I added Kim, when I was like 9 or 10. I stayed a grade because I didn't learn English that year. And we didn't have money for cool clothes, obviously. So I used to get picked on for that. And I used to be told that I was ugly and all that shenanigan. And I used to get picked on and bullied and all those things. I went to 9 different schools from 1st to 12th grade. I know that's crazy, but we moved a lot, even in the America time. Anyways, I didn't really like America for a very long time. I was like, I hate this place. People here are so mean. Everybody picks on me. I don't like it. I refused to learn English. And then after a while, I'm like, okay, I guess we're staying here. Because we weren't supposed to stay here for a long time. We didn't think we would. And then eventually I was like, okay, gotta learn English. So around 7th grade, I started to learn English. I started to develop. I started to become a woman. And I started to become prettier. And my parents had more money for clothes and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, all the guys liked me and all the girls hated me. And now from being ugly and nerdy, I was a slut and a hoe because I was pretty. And from a very young age, I was like, what? What? And I realized like, I don't really care what people think about me. And I would do very outrageous things to show people how much I don't care what they think about me. Because I realized that you just don't win, right? It's like, you're ugly and nerdy, you suck. You're pretty, then you're a slut. I don't know. It just didn't add up to me. And I was like, you know what? Screw this. Screw the popular people, screw these things. But I've always had the ability, like the gift and the ability, maybe because I moved so much, I knew how to become friends with so many different types of people from different walks of life. So the drama kids were my friends, the cheerleader, the football team, the baseball team. I don't know, I would like navigate into different groups, you know, throughout high school. And I started to stand up for myself, you know, around 8th grade. I was like, nope, ain't nobody gonna bully me. You can bring 20 girls up in here, and anybody who knows me from high school and middle school knows that I was kind of crazy. I was definitely crazy because no one's ever seen anything like that before. I had this fearlessness beyond measures. Sometimes I didn't even know where this fearlessness came from. It was beyond me at times, but everybody would try to start shit with me, kind of like they start stuff with Donald Trump. And the more I was successful and the more I did good, everybody always tried to do things to break me down. And it just empowered me in the oddest way each and every single time because I just broke through that battle and kept going. It was also very important for me to always stick up for the kids that were picked on, the kids that were nerdy. I was not okay with it. I was not okay with bullying. And that was very strange for the popular kids. And they were very confused about me. They're like, who is she? What is this? Because I would be like, no, we can be friends, but you do not do that. And if you do that, we are not friends. I'm friends with that person. So I would do very strange things that people weren't used to seeing. In high school, everybody called me Kim Cohen. I was kind of like a brand name. It's kind of crazy. Nobody ever said like, did you hear what Kim did? It was always like, did you hear what Kim Cohen did? Oh my God, I hate Kim Cohen. Oh my God, I love Kim Cohen. Oh my God, did you hear what Kim Cohen said? It was always kind of like that. It's really funny. And in high school, I was the type of person that you hated or loved. You hated me because you didn't understand me and you were, I guess, later on I found out, was intimidated by me. A lot of people ended up coming later on in life and apologizing for what they did. Intimidated or jealous by me or didn't understand me. The people that loved me, knew me, got me, found me as funny and silly and good-hearted. And I appreciate those people who took the time. So that was Kim Cohen in high school. I was a very interesting cat. I was very interesting, very funny if you knew me then. It was a good show, definitely. Then when I was 18, I started dating a famous singer. I wanted to be a famous singer. I dated him for 3 years, hung out in Hollywood, hung out with a lot of celebrities, did insanely amazing things at the time that were not even fathomable to me. And sometimes when I look back at pictures and stories, I'm like, how was that me? That doesn't even make any sense to me. I have insane stories. From here to San Francisco, after high school, I decided that I don't want to go directly to college because I don't know, I thought everyone was doing it and I was like, why is everyone doing this? Like, I felt like it was cool to do it, but like, what are we really, I don't know. I just always thought differently. So, and I didn't even like school to begin with because I didn't like learning about subjects that aren't relevant to me in my future. And now that I know all that I know, I realize why my soul just rejected school, except if it was like electives and things like that, like singing or acting or things that, you know, or art, stuff like that. But my favorite subject in school was always history. I was always obsessed with Egypt's history. That's my favorite thing ever. World history, I love it. Peanut, my dog, is actually named Peanut Napoleon Cohen because I always thought Napoleon was a badass. So, another fun fact. So, after high school, I decided to go to makeup school. I was a makeup artist. I did makeup, hair, and wardrobe. I did photo shoots. I'm trying to really make this really short, you guys, because it's very, very, very detail. I'm very detail-oriented. This whole thing is very deep. Obviously, your life story is deep. But I was working on photo shoots, working with celebrities, same thing. I was a wardrobe stylist for America's Next Top Model. Remember that show back in the day? This is like 2004 to 2007. I was also a model at the time for a couple of years, and I realized that I didn't really like doing makeup for anybody but myself, so I decided to not do that anymore. And then I decided to go to college, to a community college, but not to get a degree, to learn about things that I thought were interesting. So I took the most randomest classes. I took psychology, sociology, anthropology, which was a class about magic. What was it? Hold on. Anthropology, religion, magic, and witchcraft. I don't know, sounded interesting to me. I took self-defense, I took singing classes. I took a bunch of things that I found interesting. And the anthropology class was probably my favorite class. It was very interesting. I like teachers that actually teach and are passionate about what they're teaching as opposed to read to page 5 and blah, blah, blah. No, I like teachers that tell stories, all about storytelling. So that was an interesting era. Then after doing all of that for a couple of years, I decided that I want to start an accessory line. I wanted to design shoes with Swarovski crystals and purses and things like that. I decided to move to New York City to go to FIT, the university, fashion university. I lived in Times Square for like a year. It was wild. I went to school out there. That was very interesting. Then I decided that I don't want to do that anymore because I realized there was things in that industry. I did a lot of things that I thought looked cool from a third eye perspective or a different perspective. The grass was always greener on the other side, and then you do it and then you realize, oh, that's not really like that. So like modeling, I started to hate modeling when I was younger. Makeup wasn't what I thought. Modeling was not what I thought. Designing things were just not what I thought. So then I left New York, moved back to LA. Then I decided that I wanted to be a blogger. This was actually over 10 years ago, which is weird because this is what I do now. So back then, I started a blog called 365 Selfless Acts for Humanity, where I was gonna do something good for the world each and every single day, and I was gonna document it on the hopes of being able to inspire others to do good for humanity. I was very into human trafficking at the time. I've always been into that, and to the homeless community and saving earth and planting trees and cleaning beaches and doing all those things. That's always been in my soul's desire. So I started that blog. I never finished that blog because then I started to get a weird feeling like maybe people are reading this and thinking like, oh, she's doing good deeds and showing off. I don't know if people really thought that. That's what I subconsciously thought people were thinking. And I also like to do good deeds and not really share. So that was also conflicting. I stopped doing that. But I also decided that I want to do a volunteer program in a foreign country, and I couldn't figure out what country. And then I decided to do it in my country, in Israel. So I did a voluntary program for 6 months in Israel. We went to better a city. We lived in a city called Nes Ziona. And we did things like teaching kids English. working at soup kitchens, helping the elderly, cleaning up beaches, different things. I had an advantage than the rest of the people. I was the only one, so there's people from all over the world that joined this program, Europe, Argentina, Canada, America. I was the only one who spoke Hebrew. So on that course, I got to work with a very special kid. He only spoke Hebrew, so they needed somebody who speaks Hebrew. And this was a kid that was sexually abused insanely. And they needed somebody to sit with him in class and make sure that he pays attention. He was also very angry. He would start fights. He would freak out of nowhere. Super sad. It was like my soul's calling to help this kid out. I had to sit in meetings with him, with his psychiatrist and the teachers and the principal, and try to figure out ways to help him and save him. I almost forgot about that story, but speaking about this whole world, it just kind of popped up, so I thought I'd share. So yeah, it was kind of like being on the real world. That whole, that lifestyle. I lived in a house with like basically 8 strangers from different backgrounds. Everyone was kind of crazy and nuts. I ended up leaving the program like a month earlier because I felt like it wasn't benefiting me anymore. It was a new program. It wasn't organized very well, but I got to do amazing things in that program. But I just felt like my soul has to be set free. So I left that world, became a waitress on the beach in Tel Aviv. And then on my 25th birthday, I decided that I wanted it to be meaningful and special. I had a friend who shared very interesting photos of Jerusalem, and I was like, oh my God, where is that? Like, what part of Jerusalem is that? She told me, come out to Jerusalem. I'm about to change your life. I was like, okay, girl, let's go. So this is what I did on my 25th birthday. My mom and everybody that knew me were like, are you crazy? You're going to Jerusalem. It's super religious there. You won't be able to dress the way you want to dress there. You have to be super covered up. Like, that's what you want to do on your birthday, is go and pray. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do. So that's what I did. My boyfriend was criticizing me at the time. My mom was like, what's wrong with you? Whatever, I follow my soul's desire and where it guides me, where God and my soul guides me. I fell in love with Jerusalem. I fell in love with this religious school that I thought in the beginning would be a religious school, but it was more of a spiritual school. It was very open, which I really liked. Normally in the religious world, you can't have boys and girls in the same classroom, or there's like separation. This was open to everybody, but you obviously had to dress respectfully. Fell in love with Jerusalem. Wanted to find out all the questions to my soul's earning and yearning. So I decided that I'm going to live in the old city of Jerusalem for a couple of months. And so I did. Jerusalem changed my life forever. It was such a special, unique time. I got to learn so much spiritually. I got a really deep connection with God over there. It was very deep and very special. I always try to film these videos at the right timing for the sun, and now it's like overtaking, so I had to move. I was supposed to be on a reality show after Jerusalem. I know that's really weird. It was supposed to be on the biggest reality show in Israel. I decided that because I was so spiritual at the time, that didn't really align with my soul's purpose. Oddly enough, one of my childhood friends ended up going instead and becoming the biggest celebrity in Israel until this day. Really wild and crazy. They were looking for an American girl. So, fun fact. Then I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. Once again, I was stuck at like a crossroad, like what do I do? I had to go back to America, and I didn't know where I was gonna live, what was I gonna do? I had an ex-boyfriend at the time offer me a job in Baltimore doing sales, and I was like, no, that is not for me. I don't do stuff like that. And I didn't have any money. I was running very low on money. So he kept asking me, and I'm like, no. And like 3 or 4 days before my flight, he's like, Hofit, I don't understand. You are broke and you don't know where you're going back to America in 3 days. You don't even know where you're gonna live. Like, what is your deal? I've always been a free-spirited soul, kind of wait for God to send me messages, and I follow his lead. He's like, just please consider this job offer. I was like, okay. Took the job offer, landed in Baltimore, thought that I would be there for like a month or 2. I'm like, okay, it's fine. I'll just be there for a month or 2, make some money and bounce. Ended up falling in love, ended up staying there for 3 years, ended up being the best salesperson of the company, and became the trainer, and then the corporate trainer, and then the global world trainer. Out of thousands of people, I was the top salesperson, and I never did sales before. But it was pretty badass. It was very humbling and crazy. And with that, I started to travel a lot more than usual. I would travel every single weekend, train people, come back home for like 2 days, change, like kind of try to get back time schedule, and then boom, be gone once again. After a while, I realized that my soul isn't doing so well in Baltimore. I also lived in Washington, D.C., Baltimore area. Baltimore was a very interesting time. It was a very hard time for me. I really wanted to help mankind and doing what I was doing at the time, and I became the best at it because I genuinely really cared about people. But the rest of the people in the company were not very fond of that. They were very jealous that I was making minimum double their paychecks, sometimes triple their paycheck. It was commission only. But I guess I just had a way of really truly connecting with people and caring about people, and that's what made me a good salesperson. I surpassed anything and anyone. I had customers from all over the world. I had people bringing me their family members. These people became my friends. I genuinely cared about them. I didn't just care about selling a product. I wanted to believe in the product, and I really wanted to care and save people. Baltimore was great for 1.5 years until I broke up with my ex-boyfriend. The moment we broke up, shit hit the fan because he was the manager of the company and I was like the assistant manager / the corporate trainer, and we were running the company, and then there was the owner of the company. That was a very crazy time for the company, for us. It's when I started to travel the world and teach other places so that we don't clash. But it was also a very hard time with my family. My parents had just got a divorce. My mom and my sisters moved to Israel, and my dad was in LA with my brother, and they were having a lot of financial problems. So because I was making the most money, I didn't want to be in Baltimore anymore. But I also knew that I can't leave Baltimore until my family was okay. Until my mom and my sisters were okay. They were both, my sister was 5 and 13. I have 2 sisters. And my mom's never had a job in her life, and I had to make sure that they were okay before I left Baltimore, and I didn't care how long that was gonna take. That was my mission, and that was my sacrifice. So I would make money, I would send them money, I would send them packages of clothes and like things that they missed and loved from America, because after the divorce, she moved back to Israel. And I eventually brought my brother to work for the company, which was really great. And then I brought my other sister to work for the company, but that did not really work out for her. But only once I knew that they were okay could I leave Baltimore. So for like 1.5 years, 2 years, I was suffering in Baltimore. It wasn't a great time in my life. It was probably one of the worst times in my life, those 2 years leading up to my escape from Baltimore. I probably can never go to Baltimore again. I swear, I'm like traumatized by that place, but it's not Baltimore, it's the experience. But it's, you know, everything that we go through life is all an experience and an important part of our life that makes us who we are. They build our character, our fearlessness, our fierceness, all of it. It's the foundation of our root. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it sometimes. It's just a feeling that I get, but I hope you get it. I decided I don't want to be there anymore. It's not good for my soul. I did my mission here and I'm out. I want to be free. I would work 17 hours a day. I missed the sun. I missed normalized things. I was not into it anymore. I did it all. Right before I left, they asked me to do one last training in Miami. I was like, you know what? My intuition. I was like, let me talk to the person. If I think that they're a good person, I'll do it. If I don't think that they're a good person, I'm not going to do it. They're like, what? I'm like, you know how I do it. That's just the way I work. So I spoke to the man on the phone. He seemed like a very genuine man. I came to Miami and I fell in love with Miami, and he offered me to be a business partner. And I was like, okay, cool. Why not? I've never lived in Miami. Let's do it. So I moved to Miami for a couple of months. Well, no, I moved to Miami for like a year, brought my brother and sister to work with me. And then after a while, I'm like, nah, I don't really like this. I don't really like this. It's not a change of setting. I just don't want to be doing this. I want to do something that makes my heart happy. So I thought Miami was the dream, and it was. Living in Miami was my favoriteest place I had ever lived at, but I didn't love what I was doing. And when I was in Jerusalem at the time, I kept waiting my entire life for God to give me the answer. I knew I was meant to do something big. I never knew what it was. When I was younger, I thought it was to be famous doing something. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was maybe to be a famous singer or a model or an actress or I don't know what, but I also have a very good connection with God and the universe, and I believe that in different times in my life, I only got so far. And I think that that's where free will comes in. You have the will to try, but if that's not your soul's purpose and desire, it ain't gonna work out. So many times I got very close to becoming these things, but then something would happen. When it comes to modeling, I had a very tragic, crazy accident happen while I was modeling. I almost died modeling. That's a whole story. I think I wrote about it in my blog. I had a very crazy accident. I had scars all over my body, and I was like, okay, I get it. You don't want me to do this anymore. I'm not gonna do this anymore. So when I was, the whole time I would try all these different types of careers and different life paths, and I would see that it's not working out, and I'm like, what is the answer? Can you just tell me? I would cry, I would beg, God, tell me the answer. What is my purpose? What am I meant to do? I've been like on a mission since I was little. Like, what am I supposed to do in this lifetime? And when I was a kid, my dream was to be 4 things. I didn't want to compromise on any of them. I wanted to be a famous actress. I wanted to be a dolphin trainer. I wanted to be an FBI agent, and I wanted to be a photographer. Like when I was 6, if you asked anybody what I wanted to do, me, my mom, that's what I would say. So super random. Well, it is, but it's not, if you know who I am. So I've always wanted the answer. Tell me the answer. I would take so many self-growth seminars, watch so many stuff, learn so many stuff about the soul, but I'm like, help me, please. When I was in Jerusalem, I begged God on top of my school's. They had a rooftop. It was very gorgeous. I'll place a picture somewhere. It looked over the Western Wall, which is the last wall standing from the actual temple that was destroyed. And that's the holiest site for Jews. I remember I sat there and I cried and I was like, what am I supposed to do? Just give me a clue. And like nothing came about. And I remember, so this was before I even went to Baltimore. I cried and I was like, come on, I'm waiting. Just show me a sign. Just tell me something. Please, please, please. Nothing happened. I was like, damn. And then I walked through the Arabic market. There's an Arab market in the old city. And it's very Aladdin. You have like genie bottles, you have ancient stuff, it's really cool. I love the vibes there. And I realized on that magical day, and I didn't realize that he gave me the answer, but he gave me the answer. There's lots of arts and craft too. It's like a Jewish market that merges into the Arab market. I realized that I needed 3 things in order to be happy. And I asked myself, what are 3 things that have not changed about what you've been doing? Like, what are certain patterns that you've had on repeat in your journey in life? So one of them was art. I knew that I needed art in my life in order to be happy. My mom's always brought art into my life and into our lives as children. We're 4 kids, by the way, and I'm the oldest, by the way. My mom always brought art into our lives, and that was very important to me, to do something artistic and creative. So I knew that I had to have that. I also knew that I had to do something with spirituality or with humans or with inspiration. That was one thing that was never going to change about who I was. I loved learning information and teaching people the information and changing their life. So I was like, what job could I do that can do that for me? And also something that was never going to change was me traveling. I love traveling. I don't know if I'm ever going to settle in one freaking place. Like, I don't know if that's written in the stars for me. I don't know what home means. Like, I've moved and traveled so much. I've lived in 37 different houses. This is my 37th home in my 34 years of living. I knew as a soul I needed those 3 things to be happy: inspiration and empowerment, travel, and art. And I didn't know what that was. So I went to Baltimore and I did all that stuff. And then I went to Miami and I did all that stuff. And I'm like, no. I was like, how do I create what makes me happy? So I didn't know what it was, but I'm like, I follow my heart. I follow God. I follow the messages he gives me. I can't be here anymore. I can't do this job anymore. It's not aligned with my soul's purpose. So I quit my job, and I knew that if I quit my job, I would lose my job, my car, and my home because it all came with the company. So I went back to LA, but before I went back to LA, I got baby Peanut. Hold on. Okay, officially introducing baby Peanut. Oh. Pika. Oh, love of my life. Peanut Cohen. Hi, Baba. Hi. Say hi. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, hi, hi. So I got Peanut almost 7 years ago in Miami. Peanut is a Miami baby. Everybody always asks about Peanut. I love you. Peanut's the sweetest soul in the world. He is like a baby soul. Even though he's 7, he acts like he was just born. I moved back to LA and I didn't know what I was gonna do, and I got all these waitressing jobs and all this random jobs, and I lived at a friend's house, and one night at 4 a.m. I was following a girl who was a blogger for a long time, and I was following her for 6 months until one night at 4 a.m. I'm like, wait a minute. This is what I need to be doing with my life. Why, if she's doing that, why can't I do that? And this girl was traveling the world, taking amazing pictures, writing blog posts about it. She was inspiring the world, including me, and I thought, like, I have to freaking do this. So I created Vanilla Sky Dreaming. And my life has never been the same since. Since then, you can watch, I have 150 videos of different travel adventures that I have done. I've been to 67 countries in 5.5 years. The last half year, it started off really crazy. January, I was on the plane like 11 times and then it just stopped. That's okay. But I've made so many of my dreams come true. Things that were literally impossible in my eyes and in most people's eyes, I accomplished through this amazing journey of just following my soul's desire. And it's been such a blessing life. It really has, with the good and the bad. There's obviously a lot of bad, but I just don't like to focus on that. But it's also sometimes important to share just to make things align and explain why we do the things that we do. So I hope you got to know a little bit more about me. I kind of knew this was going to be long. I'm sorry. I don't have a normal story. Most people, I guess, do something for 100 years, but I've always kind of been different. And hopefully when this all blows over, I can continue to inspire you guys to live your best life ever. This wandering soul. Yeah, and I also have a website, vanillasskydreaming.com is my official website for my blog, my Instagram. I'm a social media influencer, that's what I do. And obviously here, and Facebook. And then I have vanillasskydreamingshop.com, where I had originally, or still am, selling my Lightroom presets, which is your own filters to make your photos look really fancy and really wow on Instagram. So there's a lot of befores and afters on that site. I recently moved to Miami, I think like 2.5 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, like end of February, I wanna say. I manifested my dream house and I'm so grateful to be here. The crazy part is that this whole thing happened at really bad timing for me in my world, because I just moved here. I didn't even bring all my furniture yet. I don't even have all my furniture in this house. I have a couch, I have a bed, I have some chairs and some stuff, but like this whole pandemic just came out of nowhere. Like it was not part of my plan, right? Not God's plan. But I believe that God sent me here. I was trying to figure out for a very long time where I'm supposed to go. I knew I wasn't supposed to be in LA. I came from LA prior to this. I lived there for 6 years. But I knew I was supposed to go somewhere else. I kept waiting for him to show me when and where. And we have a relationship, we have a connection. I know how we communicate. And when I saw this place, the timing that I saw it, I knew that he wanted me to be here during this whole crazy time of the world. My family, my brother and my dad live in LA. My aunts, my uncles, they all live in LA. My mom and my sisters live in Israel. And they were asking me to come back home. And I was like, nope, I don't think so. And they're like, why? And I'm like, no, God wanted me to be here. He sent me here. He sent me here right before everything happened. So I trust. I always trust. I have crazy faith. Like, I have some crazy blind faith to the core. And so it's so amazing because this time has given me the time to dive deeper into this whole crazy world and crazy realm that we've all been, this coronavirus, crazy, whatever is behind the coronavirus. I don't want to say it, but you know what I'm talking about. I feel like God wanted me here. He wanted me to discover the truth about what's going on now. I knew a lot of things before, but about what's going on right now. And he gave me this beautiful house. That's how I see it. To have all the time in the world to research, to look at, to find, and to create these videos for you guys. I think it's all part of my plan. I don't know about you, but it's kind of a crazy story. So in the last 6 years, so many people have asked me how it is that I do what I do. They want the lifestyle. And I'm so excited to share. I've been working on this for a very long time, but I'm gonna be launching some very exciting e-courses, and I'm gonna be also offering one-on-one coaching with me so that I can help you and teach you how to be an influencer and how to make your dreams come true and how to be free, really living your best life ever. Because I have a really big feeling, I keep thinking about this over and over again, that like I've been free for 6 years, and making my dreams come true, working from home, making my own hours, all of that. But so many people have a 9-to-5 job that they're not happy with. And others might like their job, but didn't realize how much they liked freedom. And I think that through this process, there's so many beautiful things that came out of it, but I think it was also created by the universe for us to seek deeper into ourselves, to start realizing what we truly value, what truly makes us happy. And I think that once the country opens up and the world opens up, people are gonna go back to work and be like, you know what? I don't really like this. I don't want to be in an office. Now that they've had the experience of being able to work from home, they're going to want to do that. And then if they're going to do that, they might as well do something that they're passionate about and something that they love. I know that so many people aren't passionate about what they currently do, and I really want to help you get there. I think that there's going to be an immense amount of opportunities once the countries open up. Tourism boards, countries, hotels, brands, clothing line, fitness line, whatever it is that you want to do, they're going to be like knocking at your door. I'm already getting emails, being invited to media trips and things like that. So I think that once people go back to work, they're going to realize, I don't like this. I want my freedom again. Like, they got like a taste of freedom and now they want it. And I have been doing this travel blogging thing for 6 years. Travel and lifestyle, and I wished, died for somebody to give me the answer so that I don't have to do everything the hard way. Because when I started this business, nobody had any idea how to do it. There was no guidebook, there was no college, there was no manual. It was like trial and errors, figure out on your own. And I wish I had a mentor teaching me how to do it right. It would have saved me so much time, so much sleepless freaking nights for years. I would have made so much more money. It would have saved me so much money. You guys, life-changing. Seriously, insane. I wish somebody could have taught me. And so I really want to teach people to have this amazing lifestyle that I have, where I get to wake up whenever I want, work whenever I want, travel whenever I want. I get paid to travel. I'm a brand ambassador for a bunch of clothing lines. I work with brands, I get products. It's seriously an amazing life, and I really I've always wanted to help people and inspire them and help them have a beautiful life, a meaningful life where you love what you do and there's a purpose behind it. So if this is something that you're interested in, if you're interested in learning how to be an influencer, whatever field that is, obviously I do travel, but the same thing applies to, I feel like, all categories, all niches. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, let me know below and I will contact you. I feel like most people have these bucket lists and they wait their entire life until they're old, they're 65 or I don't know how old, 70 or 80 sometimes to make those dreams come true. You don't have to wait. Life is so precious, so precious. You only get to live once on planet Earth. So literally make it the best life that you can give yourself with stories to last you for a lifetime. So if you're interested in my one-on-one coaching, let me know below. I'm gonna have more information on that. That's gonna come out first, and then the courses are gonna come out. If you're interested in the course, also let me know in the comments below. Anyways, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one. I love you.